Okay, so this is how I attempt to germinate. This is Scabiosa fama white. So this is the perennial Scabiosa plant. I do have a row of it in my field, but it is short-lived perennial usually. So some die back every year, and so this gives me plants to fill in the holes, and I actually just want more of them, so I'm just trying to germinate more. So yeah, I love it. I do find it's not an easy seed to always get good germination for, and I just seen the package is only at 70%. So I'm happy if half of them germinate for me, and I've had more success when I wrap them in saran wrap. Actually, this saran wrap, I don't know why, probably shouldn't be showing this. It is not sticking, but normally this sticks together and it makes a little pocket where the moisture can't get out. So you could use a Ziploc, a baggie as well, and maybe today that would have worked better for me. But I stick this under the light so it has, it gets nice and warm and it's moist in there, and I just feel like I have better germination this way than if I went right to a tray and then stuck the tray under the lights. Plus, if only 50% of them germinate, I don't want to have a tray under my lights with only 50% plants. This way I'll just pick them out and fill my tray completely with everything that's germinated from here. So the other thing I'm seeding this week is Delphinium. That's what my first tray is here. I think the Scabiosa and the Delphinium were two of my favorite things to cut and sell last year. It was well received at the collective. And it was also, both of them were well liked at market. So I just loved it. I've grown Delphinium before, but not successfully and not in any quantity. So it was just a fun change, something new to harvest and sell. And so I want to put more in. So I seeded it last spring. We planted it, I planted it in the spring. And then we put another round in the fall that Pauline helped me plant. And then we didn't seed. I had these packages. We only seeded half of them. So I'm going to do another tray of each of them. And I brought in a new lavender kind. One of the designers was asking for more lavender delphinium. So I'm going to seed that. This hopefully germinates some of this, and it will fill in any holes in my rows that maybe where something died or didn't do well. And then hopefully I can finish off those rows. And we should have a few rows of delphinium this summer to harvest, and maybe this will also bloom at a slightly different time as the stuff that's in the ground are ready. So hopefully we have a bit of a staggered bloom on the delphinium. And these delphinium trays are not going in my basement. So different than the Scabiosa, which I like to be moist and warm. I actually find delphinium, I have in the past just stuck these under the lights in the basement, but I think I have more success when I chill them. So the seed was already in the fridge, but I find when I get the seed in contact with the moist soil and stick it in my fridge for a few weeks and then put it under the lights, I have really good germination. So I love my garage fridge. We got this not for flowers, it was for excess food when all my kids were at home, but a bunch of them they don't live at home anymore, so we don't use this fridge a ton. So there's lots of room to put trays in here, store seed in here. I keep my water-soluble calcium and my LAB, the lactic acid bacteria, which I did make a second attempt at with success this time. The first one I was doing over the holidays and with the family around. You have to catch it at the right time to add the milk, and then at the right time to when the curds and the whey separate. So January is way slower. I put it in a cupboard where every time I open it, I would notice it and keep an eye on it. So it worked well. I have the whey part in here to add to the water when I water my seedlings. And then the curd part, I ate a little bit. It's supposed to be really good for your gut health, and then a little bit to Walter, and then we gave the rest to the chickens as a bit of a treat for them. Okay, so this is the last week of January, and in my seeding room, what I've seeded so far is the eucalyptus, and I'm happy to report that it has germinated for the most part. I feel like I have a little eucalyptus forest growing in the basement. Long way to go yet for them. My first trays of lisianthus have germinated as well, and I'm waiting for the rest. But I have a good number of trays of lisianthus going, a lot more to seed. But that's okay. My first round is done. And then this week I did the scabiosa, and the delphinium is in the fridge. So that is really all I seed in January. I really try to hold myself back. It is a month where things are a lot quieter. There's more time, and it's just fun to be back into the dirt. So you can go crazy. But I've learned my lesson to not do that, because it's a few months before I can plant. Plants aren't always happy when they're getting root bound in their trays and stressed because they're not in the ground at the right time. So I'm just, I'm happy with how far I am. And then in February, I can start doing a whole bunch of different things, as well as another good round of lisianthus, because you know, you can never have too much lisianthus. So that's January here in my seeding room. And on the farm, we have a decent amount of snow this January, which is good because I'm hoping providing a little bit of insulation in my field on top of my perennials. And I'm a little bit nervous, but I have those dahlias in the ground, and it has been cold this week. So I'm hoping that the ground is not frozen underneath the fall leaves that I put in. And there's a little bit of snow on top of the tarp there. So I'm hoping it's enough insulation to keep the dahlias from freezing. So cross my fingers, both fingers for that. So I thought I would end this video by answering another question that was asked to me. This one was actually asked a few times over the last year, and it is why I'm a flower farmer. And then with that, it's how I became a flower farmer. So I think that how I became, maybe I will dedicate a whole video to, because I went to school to become a high school math and phys ed teacher, and now I don't teach at all, and I attempt to farm here on this property. So that's a bigger question, but the why, I think is pretty simple, is that I just really like starting seeds. And I started that 30 years ago. I kind of just start way too many, and then you end up with lots of plants. But I love starting seeds. It's a great thing to do in January and February. It's a nice way to pass the time in winter. And it's fun to see them germinate and see life growing in my basement, and then eventually growing outside. So I know that's a really simple answer, but that's really why I'm farming. I think if I didn't have a passion for starting seeds, I wouldn't be doing this. So that is why, simple answer, why I'm a flower farmer. So it is freezing out here. I am going to go in, but thanks for joining me this week and seeing my baby plants and all the things that I have started this month. And I hope to see you again next time.